Chapter 22, School. Eventually, we were always going to have to come back to school. But first, there was a long, hot summer in Countingdon. Our end-of-term party kicked off with the casual destruction of 2 local landmarks, the burial of 5 of our friends, the death of a school librarian, and the discovery that said librarian had her ex, not even her boyfriend, just an unrequited crush, chained up in her attic like some grotesque art installation. That's how we learned what really happened. We schooled the local constabulary, filled in the blanks they'd ignored for 30 years, gave the town its dirty little secrets back, scrubbed raw, stitched together, and set on fire. And don't get me wrong, Countingdon is still a shithole. The people still suck. We're still the smartest people in any room. But we're also a little more, let's say, tolerant now. Because once you've battled demons, real or metaphorical, boring suddenly seems pretty acceptable. Sarah was certainly an educator, and if I'm giving her any credit at all, a damn good librarian. She kept the breadcrumbs intact at Countingdon High. Missing pictures in the yearbook were only the start, not exactly subtle. Her newspaper clippings slipped inside records, tapes and vinyl sold on the second-hand market. A risk, sure, but one she took to feel the thrill of something, laying a path. For us, she was toying with the town with its missing persons cold cases, marginalia faintly erased in music books, clues tucked behind the story of The Who, between paperbacks on moral panic. She left clues like she wanted to be found. Breadcrumbs, croutons, baps, but the main loaf? The bake-off? That was happening in Orchard House, and it had been cooking for 30-odd years. When they finally went through the ruins after the fire, after the headlines, after they had no choice but to listen, the police dug up more than just charred furniture and melted cassettes. They found bones under the floorboards, chains bolted into the attic. Suddenly, a lot of long-dead case files started to heat up. Turns out a young copper named Eels once did a half-arsed job investigating a crash in the summer of 1989. 3 long-haired boys, pissed out of their skulls, metal blasting from a rust bucket hatchback, drove off the not-quite-finished bypass and into the trees. The scene report mentioned a few oddities: skid marks that didn't match the trajectory, blood smears inside the car that didn't fit the crash. But eager to close the file, young Inspector Eels signed it off. No follow-up, no fuss, no questions asked. The school held a memorial. Big show in the assembly hall. The one surviving member of that little metalhead band, Matthew Belton, got cleaned up, cut his hair, and recited a poem by Kipling to a room full of people who didn't know a damn thing. Frikkin poetry? Gimme a break. Then he climbed into the back of his parents' Volvo estate and left town. They were never seen again. A few days later, a burned-out Volvo, same year, same model, was found in the next county. No bodies, no signs of foul play, just ash and metal and silence. It got filed under probably stolen and promptly forgotten. We know better now. It's unclear how far Matthew got, whether he made it past the county line or whether Sarah brought him back herself. But somehow he ended up upstairs in Orchard House, chained, hobbled, forgotten, tied to the bed frame of the girl in the homemade band t-shirt who never got her night with the singer. I can't imagine what he lived through between 1989 and now. And honestly, I don't want to. But what we met up there, that wasn't just Matthew anymore. That was 30-plus years of Sarah's violence, silence and sickness, dressed up to look like a metal album cover ghoul. 30 years of obsession, rotting in one locked room. A lifetime of unprocessed rage, turned inwards until it spilled out. We only saw the final version. We know there were others. Sarah kept records. Matthew kept mementos. The police kept cocking things up. So any kid who wore too much black, took too many pills, wandered too far out by Tinwell Grove, or just disappeared off the face of the map after a cursory bit of research, in hindsight we can link them to a song, to the library, to a checkout slip, to a login record, to a taped-off corner of a music section nobody ever really browsed. Turns out Sarah had been doing this for over 30 years. Makes me want to apologise to Peachy, to Gavid, to Unit, to Twink, to Monk. We weren't that special after all, kids. Just a number in the crowd. A bunch of numbers anyway. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Then there's the 3 of us. And as far as we can tell, it was Echo who bought us the time that saved our lives, because she was number 3. 3-3? Somewhere around the time Sarah discovered Echo was her niece, and we discovered Miss Park wasn't just a psychopath with a mixtape fetish. She had a change of heart. This wasn't a murder spree anymore. She thought she could have a pack of her own. The mistake she made was believing her own truth. When we listened to her rant about how the band wrote songs for her, about how she was the muse, how the lyrics were secret messages only she could decode, she believed every word. And she believed we believed her too. For a moment, Echo saw to that. Little genius. And yet, here's the thing. Some of our mums were at school back then or just after, and they remember the stories, see through Sarah. The sad sack who hovered at the back of every music class, followed the band around like a groupie without a backstage pass, mistook winks and gestures and shared air for some kind of cosmic love story. In her head it was a grand romance, a Shakespearean tragedy. In real life, teenage ego, unrequited crush turned radioactive, rage with no direction home. I think it's mad to wonder how many lives might have been saved if Matthew had just got off with her. But that's not how it works, is it? So we got schooled on that. We got a crash course in media training too. Turns out surviving a serial killer makes you interesting. We're viral now. Murder podcasts, true crime docs, Channel 4, 5 and 6, writers with dramatic eyebrows trying to option our trauma for paperback deals. Everyone wants our story, but we're not talking. We were solemn weirdos before. We're still solemn weirdos now. Just because everyone knows who we are doesn't mean we're not still freaks, mosh pit royalty, misfit nobodies. Same as it ever was. The pack's lineup has evolved. Mouse turned out to be a decent guy. Terrible puns. Zero respect for privacy. We let him in the group chat anyway. It was easier than trying to keep him out. No fucking boundaries, that boy. Vincent and Baby Bat have been solid, like our own personal funeral cortege. They make sure we never walk across town alone. We can't go to the shack anymore. It's just a blackened wreck, wrapped in yellow tape. Muttley's taken a job at the county hotel bar. There's a function room out back. Beer crate stage. We're hoping they get a license soon. Put on some shows. Maybe Hank the DJ. Something loud. Something stupid. Something ours. So our summer of schooling on how to survive a heavy metal psychopath, how to lose some of the best friends you'll ever have, and how to find your seat in a new pub has come to an end. It's September. The weather has gone to shit again. The academic year's starting all over. Final year of 6th. This is it. A-levels, university, or a dead-end job if that's your speed. But before we can get to the next chapter, we've got another year at Countingdon High. It's our first day back. We're standing in the wings of the school hall, just off stage, where they used to do assemblies, where Sarah watched Matthew read If, where David once got a nosebleed during a school play. I'm looking at Prue. Prue's looking at me. Echo's looking at both of us. Mouse is looking at something I'd really rather not have seen on his phone. Yuck. We're about to take the stage. We're in uniform. We haven't worn uniform in years, but today it feels right.